Hello, good morning. Did you notice also I have nice shoes? Huh? I'm not the only one. So I want to to talk about the way I use the smartphone, and I decided instead to show you a picture to show you different pieces I've done with the using smartphone. I belong, as Thomas said, to a photographic agency, where for so many photographers it's not so easy to use smartphone, because they are more involved in traditional Leica and that kind of things. For example, 10 years ago, Leica, they gave me cameras, and all photographers from VU, they went to see me. Why did they give you Leica to a photographer as you? You don't need this, To explain my relationship with photography, before to talk of smartphone, I started photography in 1993 when I was looking for my family in Algeria, that I didn't know. In 1993, I decided to go there to look for them, and I was not a photographer. It's just a friend of me say, you go to Algeria, you should make photography. But I say, I know nothing about photography. It's okay, take my camera, and you try to do something. And then I left. And the first day, it was the civil war in Algeria. It was terrible. The first day, I've been attacked in the La Casbah, it's famous part of Algiers with narrow streets, white narrow streets. And in the fight, the people, they stole me the viewfinder, And when I came back at night to my friend's house, I called my friend, there is a problem with your camera. I cannot use it. He said, it's a pity. He said, maybe you can find another one. And the next day in Algiers, I was looking for a camera, and I found a plastic one, And I say, okay, I take it. And also, it was a good idea, because not to be recognized as a photographer, And know that's the beginning of my photographic work, working with a toy, a plastic camera, But at the beginning, and then I continue after for the next journeys to Algeria to work with that camera. But only, I belong to this photography agency where there are some photographers, they choose to work with that kind of camera because it will give a specific form, But me, it's not this. It's just because when I had a checkpoint or that kind of things, and when the police or the militaries, they could see the plastic camera, they say, don't waste my time, go. And I can say, because many people I have the books there, if you want, maybe you could have a look. They are talking about my form of photography, not it's specific. And it's talking, at the beginning, it's not an aesthetic choice. It's talking about the fact to make during that time in Algeria, during the civil war, it was also my form of photography, it's really connected to that time, because not to be recognized, not to be identified as a photographer, not to center, always moving, plastic camera, it gives a specific form. But this form is talking about maybe the idea also of the failure, because I have not been able to find another way to photography Algeria during this time. But during this time, smartphone, it did not exist, But for me, when I've got the first one, for me it was clear that I could use it, And the first experience, the first piece of work that I want to show you, it's related about, between 2005 and 2010 and across Africa from Tangiers, by road from Tangiers till Cape Town, And at the end, when I was in South Africa, I've done a project with, it was in Joburg, it was a collective project to put 30 artists in the center in Johannesburg. The worst part of Johannesburg was the drill hole. It was so hard, you could do nothing, any camera, any photo, it was impossible to do something. And the idea of this residency, it was at the end of the residency, there was a festival of 4 days showing all the work done by the artists in residency, And I was supposed, after 3 weeks there, to show something. For me, it was impossible to do any picture because you cannot put the camera. Even you cannot look around. As soon the people, they come to see you. Okay? to have your iPhone impossible, and I decided to buy a cheap smartphone, and sometimes, not all the time, to walk around and to do as if I was calling and to make a series of video, you know, and done the piece of work. That's the only thing I've been able to do, and then the piece of work that for the presentation have been this. I will show you this construction. It's if you have the sound, it's 2 minutes. Huh? So it was my first experience with the smartphone. And then, you know, in 2009, you know, I've done a first, about Algeria, first part of work between 1993 and 2003. But this part of work is mainly focused on my family, looking for my identity, bring back my father to Algeria, and that kind of things, you know. And I started a new work in Algeria between 2009 and 2013. And I decided to look for not working, to leave the family, and just to look for, to know what was my connection with the Algeria, without, if I don't consider the family, what can be my connection with the country, you know? And I work with, in different direction, and one different the direction was the Araga, you know, in North African Araga. It means we used to call the migrants, Algerian migrants, who try to cross Mediterranean to reach Spain or Italy. And it means also in Arabic, haraga, it means the burner, you know, the burners, the people who burn their paper, their life, you know. And for Miko, for one function of the mobile, you know, these migrants, they used to live from Algeria by the Moroccan border in a city, the area Oran, they try to reach Spain, or the other side, the Tunisian border by a city called Annaba. They try to reach Italian island, you know. And for them, the function of the mobile, it was in 2009, 2010, 2011. Now everybody is crossing Mediterranean. But for them, the mobile is really important because that's the way they try to find their direction, you know, because on the boat, on the small boat, they try to find the direction. If they have Spanish or Italian network, that's the good direction. If they don't have it, they have to change the direction, you know. And one day, it was in 2011, you know, there was an association for youth in Algeria which helped a lot many Algerians, specifically young Algerians during the civil war, you know, called Raj. And one of my friends was the secretary of this association. One time he gave me a DVD, you know, and he said, the DVD, it's for you, maybe it can be interesting for you. So I came back to France, I forgot the DVD, I lost it, and 7 months later, I found the DVD, I said, what's this, you know? And I decided to watch it, and on it, there were maybe 30 short films I could guess made with a smartphone. And as soon I called my friend, what did you give me? Is it not some short video done with a smartphone done by the migrants? They say, yeah, that's, sir. I didn't know what to do with this, and also it was complicated for me to use them, you know, because for me it was complicated to use something not done by me, you know. It's not, you know, I know many artists, they used to make piece of work with documents or picture collected, but for me it was not so easy. So it took me maybe 1 more year. I need a lot of time. And one day, talking with my father about Algeria, his trip when he came to France and that kind of things, we were talking together. And I thought maybe if my father was born 50 years later, maybe would he not came to France as a Araga? And I say, it allowed me to, I don't know why, just talking with him, I say, maybe I can do something with this, you know. And I've done that kind of editing with different movies I will present to you. Just a moment. Excuse me. I don't know why.
اسكت علينا صاير جمع جاد طلعوا عبالكم الولاد ربي يسترنا وما يبان حد شي فهمتوا وما قاعد يبان حد شي هالي الشوفارة وراقد هالي الشوفارة وراقد
يلا ولا هي المردوم
هذاك المردوم مدايرة طل ودايا تما كي رحنا وهو راقد حتى نرجعنا
تعرف كي شاف الجبل الصحراء قالب طريقة عليه
لا بالعرب يلا قالب ما نعرف الفترة الجاية عندي لا بالعرب وفي الطليان هذا ما يكاملين فيه شنو نصور لهم فرصة تاع اسبانيا هذا خاطر هذا اللي كان في الصدور بسم الله بسم الله عندكم فرصة تاع اسبانيول
عندك هذا المغورية
اسمع نقعدوا هنا يعاود يفتح لنا بابور هذا خرج يجي يكشفنا هاي اصبر نكملوا الحين
خلوه يحذفوه في الطريقة
خلاص روح خليه يكملها له في لابلاج
كملوا في الطريقة اسمع تدخلوا في نص عشان خليه خليه مزيان خليه كيفاش يسمعوا قاس الطريقة عندنا فكرونا شو
تغير هذاك تغير
أنا مختنا الرجال
تضربك
أنا مختنا واحد عشان قلت هذا
سيريوس
هذا كان بتاع اللي جينا هو
هذا درت له الزوم باش يشوفوه الناس هذا اسمع هذاك قربت له غايه زعما قربت له؟ عندك عيناه خرجت
حراس
انا مازال ما لقيتش هذا كنت بخليه بخليه يدير لي بورطابل شو راك معاه ولا ماكش معاه؟ ليق هو بينهم مليحة مليحة مليحة
So that's what the second piece of work that I have done. It's not a video done by me. It's just these documents. I don't know even this association they have got this short film. It seems that people who are Mediterranean, and that they succeed. You know, they send this film to my friend, to the association in Algeria, as a, I don't know, as a testimony, but as something, as to say, I did it, you know. So the third piece of work, you know, I'm still working about Parisian suburbs, you know, from where, you know, I'm coming from hard suburbs in Paris, and I'm from that world. And I've decided to work on the suburbs, but also to work on the suburbs, the edge, you know, of the limit of Paris, you know, the limit where it's the beginning of the suburbs. Is it Paris? Is it not Paris? You know, and I've done a series about, you know, Le Bois de Vincennes. You know, it's it's not a park; it's kind of forest, but it's quite big. And you know, in Bois de Vincennes, there is a specific part where there is the hippodrome. It's where you have horses races, you know, and all around the hippodrome, it's the territory of African prostitute, you know, coming from whole, mainly West Africa, Nigeria, and different countries. And they have small vans, you know, and it's just during the night, you know, it's starting the beginning of the evening, and they are in the van, you know, park around the hippodrome, and they just, in front of the van, they put candle or light, you know, and they are waiting, you know, for the customers. And then all the people, the men, they came by car, you know, slowly to watch them, you know, because they are in the front, they are seated in the front of the vans with the lighting. It's beautiful, huh, with the candle. And then I've done a series about this with my mobile phone, you know, and just driving as everybody, and then to stop. And for me, it was the only way I found to do it, because that means also, you know, I can imagine, you know, you can take time to know them, to talk with them, but it takes months and months. And for me, I'm not in that process, you know. And I've done this. I will show you what a part of this war, you know. But with the light, the quality is quite complicated. That's the way I exhibited the work as a big block of image. That the third piece. And the last one, it's talking about Algeria. You know, since long time I'm doing some correspondence with a friend of me who is quite for me, famous Algerian writer. And we use every day, not every day, but all the time to make correspondences, you know, between together. I send him picture, he send me picture and text, and also video done with the smartphone and that kind of things. I will show you an example of this. You know, that kind of, and mainly, I go to the beginning. Yeah, that's the beginning, you know. And we used to pay, I make picture, and him too, with the smartphone, and using also by email, because we need the date, you know, exactly. And we correspond together, you know, since long time, you know. It's because we want to keep the principle of email, because I can see my name responding him, and the main of the most of those pictures are done with a smartphone. And that's picture from me and from him. And also for him, you know, as making with his smartphone a picture of a part of the newspaper. It's that kind of. You know, that's a capture of a screen. It's a video, you know. It just. It's quite big work. It's always in progress. So it's just to show you how I can use, you know, even me, I don't work in digital. Huh? I'm still working with film, except I use with the smartphone, you know, because even though I'm exhibiting with Leica in Paris, and they say, even if you know you don't like very much to work with Leica, would you like to have a digital Leica camera? I say, I don't need. I just, I'm between, you know, I'm working with the smartphone to make video, to make photo, and after I'm working argentic with that kind of plastic toy cameras, and I'm between, you know. It can be many people say we don't understand you. What are you doing? But anyway. Already a publisher asked us to do something, but we refused because my friend, you know, Algerian guys are quite complicated. Him more than me, because in me I'm just half, but together it's... And l'Institut du Monde Arabe, you know, the museum in France, they asked us if we wanted to exhibit this, but it's not so sure. I don't know at that time. It's still work in progress, but it's interesting. It's not... not me, but him. It's a really famous writer. If you can read what he can write, it's really strong. That's not my case. I know for writing, I know where I am. You know, but it's all. You know, it's talking. That's what many people say. It's really interesting because it's talking about France. It's talking about Algeria. It's between. It's talking also the migrants. And many, you know, For example, we were supposed to have to do together a residency in Tunisia, and we were supposed to meet together in Tunis, but him, as an Algerian guy, his passport was not available. So I just arrived alone in Tunis, and I was waiting for him. You know, I say, Sid Ahmed, his name is Sid Ahmed. I say, what are you doing? I'm waiting for you. You are not there. And then I went alone to the hotel, you know, and it was a cheap hotel. And I used to write that kind of things, you know. And it was going to my room. I saw it was a big window, and I saw in front in the other building a naked woman. I say, wow, I wrote him. I say, you know, revolution is good in Tunisia. It's not as in Algeria. I'm so surprised. You know, that kind of things, but it's talking about the the fact to be between. And the last anecdote for Miko, the function of smartphone, you know, 15 years ago, I was in Algeria with, it was a wedding. I was with all the family. You know, my family is a really traditional family. You know, it means when there is a fest, a wedding, in one side you have men, where it's really boring, and the other side you have the women. I am a part of the family. I can go with the women. And no, I spent all the night with my cousins and dancing and this. And my aunt, she took the mobile of my cousin and she made a video of me dancing, you know, and that's all. And she said, Bruno, you look very nice dancing and this. And what did I learn maybe 2 years later? It is that she used this movie to show it maybe in more than 40 families, to show, look, it is my favorite nephew, and he can get married, you know. And it's fun, it's another function. Thank you. I don't know if you have any question, because already I talk a lot, but...
Thank you. You were almost doing the step from privacy of the conversation with your friend to publicity, presenting it in a conference like that. Also, we were not able to read it. So I think what you're doing quite often is that stepping over the border from privacy to public affairs. When you're walking through the forest, through the Baie de Saint, and looking at photographing the prostitutes, that is probably for most of the people who are out there a very private thing. For you, it's a public thing. So,
but I don't know. You know me. I'm just I don't know if I'm a photographer. You know, I'm just able to talk about my private thing. As you know, it's not only for photographers, but I think mainly all the artists, they are just talking about their own experiences, you know, their relationship with the world. That's all, you know. And me, I'm just able to do this, you know. For the beginning, when I integrate the agency VU, you know, because at that time it was impossible to go to Algeria if you was not Algerian. You know, for a photographer it was quite complicated, you know. I had the Algerian passport, I could go. And it was the beginning, and VU, they thought, we can earn a lot of money with that guy because he can get many assignments. And it's true, the first month I've got an assignment for Paris Match, Stern, and I don't know who else. And then I went to Algeria, I've done the book, and after, when I came back to show the work to Paris Match, they look at the work and they say, did we send you to Algeria? But to do what? You know, we cannot work with you. You are so bad photographer. What are you doing? It's not interesting. What did we pay to send you to Algeria? You know. So it means never. I used to make assignments. You know, I've done this. I'm always. You know, I've done the first part of. I have the 2 books. You know, the first book about Algeria. You know, the first part looking for my roots. Bringing back my father to Algeria. It was not come back to Algeria since 40 years, you know. And after the second part, you know, you talk about the last book. It's not Who Knows Tomorrow. It's vanishing into reality. You say Algérie clos comme on ferme un livre. It's talking about my. Do you have? Because it's talking about the problem of mixed race, you know. Because I'm sometimes in France, the people they can say my legitimacy to be French. For example, 5 years ago, we wanted to get a new apartment with my wife because she was pregnant, and then I call a guy, a big apartment. I say, yeah, it's quite interesting. Photographer, famous agency. And then I gave my name. It's I made a mistake. It's not available, you know. And I don't know. The evening, I was talking with my wife, and my wife, I say, she's from Martinique, you know, but she has a French name, you know. I say, would you not try again to call tomorrow morning? And she called, and the second, okay, the next day you have an appointment. And the same evening, the problem was talking with her daughters and my wife, who can go to the appointment? Me, who has not really an Arabic face, but an Arabic name, or my wife, she has a French name, but an Arabic face. And in fact, I went to the appointment with the documents of my wife. And you know, if you visit the apartment, if they agree, they say, after may I have your identity card on this? And I say, I forgot mine. I say, it's a problem, mister. You know, I made a mistake. I took the one of my wife. Oh, it's okay. And that's the way we have got the apartment, you know. It's 5 years ago in France. Huh? And it's also the same problem in Algeria when I am with my cousin, my friend. They say, you are Algerian, my brother, and this. And sometimes they say, you're not really Algerian. And you are a migrant. You are from, you say, an immigré, you know. And it's all these things, and also I think mainly my work about Algeria, but also the suburbs. No, I'm working on the suburbs, but I have only been able to work on the suburbs because before I've been able to, I work on Algeria, you know. For me, before it was impossible to look around me. It was too violent, too difficult. And also there is a string, maybe the other quite big part of the work, it's to across Africa. The connection to Black Africa, I don't know, it's not so clear, but I feel it, if it was my, I have a strong connection there. I cannot explain you why, but there is something. And you know, I'm just able, actually I'm doing a big project in Marseille, you know, with this famous journalist called Florence Aubenas, you know. She has been on stage in Iraq long time ago. She was a journalist for Libération. And then we are in Marseille, but for me, Marseille, it's interesting. It's talking about, you know, identity, because when I am in Marseille, I have the feeling to be at home. You know, it's something between France and Algeria, you know. In Algeria, we call le bled, you know. It's to call Algeria, we say in French, in Arabic, we say le bled. And in Marseille, I have the feeling to be at home, you know. And I try to work on this. And no, I'm actually, from what you said, I'm starting a new series in Algeria about what we used to call the post-traumatic landscape. You know, it's to make a killing map of the big killings. You know, it's more than 50, almost 20 years ago. And I try to do something. That's all? No.
Actually, it seems that for you, the smartphone camera, it's in many sense kind of a secret camera or a hidden camera. Like in Johannesburg, like you were pretending to be talking, but actually were filming, and also around the Hippodrome, or kind of saying to the plastic camera, kind of a non-camera, like the soldiers in Algeria treated as this, you can just keep that. Yeah. So when you decide to shoot with your smartphone or your Leica, how do you decide? How do you see this difference and how the use is when you choose the other and when you choose the other to take the photo?
It's not so clear. I'm a quite confused guy. You know, it's not it's not so clear. I cannot tell you in the process. No, it's the time to use this, or it's the time to. It's just something really, you say, intuitive. You know, it's talking about my work. You know, as they say, even you know, I was at the. Yeah, not yesterday, Wednesday evening at the opening of Leica Gallery, I'm presenting the work about Africa, you know, and many photographers came, and people from Leica, you know, and all the people ask me, have you done this with Leica? No, it's not possible. Oh, they can exhibit you in that gallery, and that, you know, but I like this, I play with that position, you know, but it's not so clear. It's just something as, you know, I cannot decide to say, okay, for the, yes, sometimes, you know, for that, no, it's not so clear. It's, you know, I'm quite confused, and I try to, it's talking about me, you know, it's not so, maybe it's coming from mixed race to be between, I'm between, you know, I don't know between what, but I'm between Algeria and France, I'm between, I don't know, plastic camera, smartphone, and more classical cameras. It's try to I try to play with this, you know, and but no, mainly to use no, except for the correspondence with my friend in Algeria. Mainly, I use the smartphone to make a video, you know. For example, I've done a big residency in Mussem, you know, it's museum in the south of France. They invite me to mix together and to edit all the video done by the smartphone, but also with the smartphone I made a Super 8 movie, you know, and to mix all together, and maybe I can show you an extract, you know. It's and it's a kind of it's an editing. And then French musicians, they came to play the music on it. I don't know, maybe you don't know them. It's a mandolud player. It's Arabic traditional guitar. It's a from Rashida, you know, and another friend. They wrote. I show you. But if I'm too long, you tell me, because I can go. You know, it has done this. I cut it, it's not my fault. It cannot work. Thomas, tell me if you are late. If you are late. Normally there is the sound, but I know. Mixing picture done by the smartphone, and also movie and Super 8 movie done with the smartphone, but also movie done with the plastic camera, you know. It's for me, it's interesting. It gives me freedom, you know, it just I have, and especially in such country as Algeria, it's not so easy. Even in the suburbs, you know, even if you come to the suburb, it's not so easy, you know. You know, I came back it was 2 years ago, to the suburbs, to the place where I grew up when I was young, because they wanted to block the building where I live, you know, and I made with my iPhone a video, and as soon the guy, they say, you cannot make a video here, you are not from here, and then it started, but I am from here before you, and It's not so easy. But also with that kind of process, you know, the people, they say you are not a photographer. You are more an artist than always between, you know. If I go, the guy from Perpignan, you know, the big festival he said, no, Bruno, you are not an artist, I don't want you. You know, go to Arles or but don't go to Perpignan. I'm not so sure. Just the fact I'm not the only one. For me, what is interesting in photography, no, many photographers are between, you know. It's interesting. Okay, enough for today. And the way I show you shortly, the way they present this, the film, it's this. They present they play music and they present the film. And that production is done mainly with you know, one time when I came back from Algiers to Marseille by boat, I had the iPhone, you know. And this, there is an iPhone. With this iPhone, it's a film from the last 30 minutes arriving to Marseille, you know. But I was on the top of the boat and was with my iPhone, and I started to make a video, and I put it the smartphone, and I forgot it. And then I was doing picture, and when then I arrived in Marseille the next day, I found on my phone, it's something, there is a film, is really heavy, what's this, you know? It was the film of the last 30 minutes, and you know, when I've got the assignment from the museum, I use this film, the 30 minutes of this film, including different series of photography, different Super 8 movie, other video, and that kind of things, you know. That's the way when I say I'm confused. Thank you.